What's going on, Sumolings? It's Chris here from AppSumo, and today I am joined with Brian from Heights Platform. So we have another awesome product webinar and walkthrough for you today. For those of you who don't know, Heights Platform is a customizable all-in-one online course platform that helps you create, manage, and sell your own learning programs. And it's available on AppSumo right now, starting at just $79. So it's a great tool. We're going to be going through it in just 1 minute. Two things to address before we do. One, if you guys have any questions about Heights Platform while Brian is going through this walkthrough, you can click that Q&A button below the video, and we will circle back to all of that at the end to make sure we get your questions answered. And we'll also be sending out a replay later. So if you miss anything or you have to pop out early, we'll get that out to you. We'll be sending that via email so you can check it out there. But that is all I have. Brian, thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Hey, I'm Brian McAnulty. I'm the founder of Heights Platform, and I'm super excited to be here today with our AppSumo deal. Thank you, everybody who's already purchased it. It's been really inspiring seeing both the excitement and the ambition of everybody here. So first, I'm planning to go through the student experience in a demo platform. Then we'll walk through how you can create a course of your own, similar. And finally, we'll wrap it up with payment settings, account settings, things like that.
Perfect. I am going to turn off my camera. Your screen share is coming through clear, so you are good to go.
All right, great. So here we are at the what a student will see as soon as they log into your program. This is an example of photography program about how to become a professional photographer. So as a student, you see your courses here. We'll go into the first course. And I'm just going to walk through and complete some lessons quick. Here we got a video lesson. And as we complete them, you can see we're earning points here at the top. And now we just got our first badge for that as well. Now here's an assignment lesson. We need to answer a question to complete this one. This is another video lesson. This video is using an embedded video. This is just a YouTube video instead of one that was uploaded. You can embed a video from any video provider that you use. Now we've got a download lesson. This way you can give students files to download. And finally, actually, before I go to this next one, you'll notice here, this lesson has a lock icon next to it. So what that means is these first couple of lessons, the student was able to go through any order that they kind of want to. But this one has a lock, so the previous lesson here had to be completed first before they could unlock it. So now let's go to that. This is the last lesson in this course. You can see it up here. Another video lesson. And great, now we've completed the course. Go back to the course list. And we got another badge for passing 50 points. So that's an example of a student going through the course. In addition to courses and lessons, Heights Platform really is a complete program for your students to learn, and that includes a lot of community features. So here we've got a discussion forum, and this forum right here, it's got a couple different discussion boards in it. You could also have discussion board groups if you wanted to even separate it further. We'll go into one right now just as a quick preview. Got a couple posts here. So this is a great place for students to interact with each other and with you, their teacher. But in addition to that, one of our most unique features is our project section. So the project is basically the goal of what you want your student to accomplish after they complete your course. So this is a photography course for how to become a professional photographer. So the project that you want your student to complete at the end is to get their first client. This is a great way for the student to really demonstrate what they've learned and put it to use. So here we've got posts from different students. You can go into the post, and as another student myself, I can go and comment on it. I can go and like other people's posts, and I can vote on people's posts. So not only is this a great way for a student to show what they've done, but it's a great way for students to get inspiration from each other in seeing what other people do. Because even though the mentor might have some ideas, you might teach students, hey, you could do it this way. This is a good idea. The students might have other ideas that work for them that they can gain new inspiration from each other. So now let's jump into what this is going to look like for you to create. So here now I switched over to my other account as the mentor now. And when you log in as a mentor, you'll be taken to your mentor dashboard. You get a quick overview of what's going on in your program. And you'll probably notice that this looks very similar to the student experience that you just saw. And we do that on purpose because we've noticed with a lot of similar online course programs, things like that, the admin experience is kind of completely separated from the student experience. And we didn't like the feeling that you'd have as a course creator that you go and build your whole course, and you come back only to find out, hey, I didn't expect it was going to look like that. This way, you're really integrated in understanding what the student's going to experience as the mentor. You could even go into those same lessons and view them and complete them yourself. But let's say we're just going to start out here and build our first course. Usually where we'll go is to this outline. So we call this the climb outline. And this is really a great spot to kind of sketch out your course, reorganize your lessons, and also, even after you've kind of completed all your content, it's a great place to come back to kind of get an overview, which I'll explain soon. But so right now we see this is the process that a student will go through. First, there's enrollment. Right now, our program's set to free enrollment. It could be free or paid. We'll go over those options soon. We could offer an upsell after that paid enrollment. And then we have our courses, which we just went through. So we've got one course here with some lessons, another course, and then our project, which we also went through. And here we're also offering a couple of downloadable products. Well, let's go in here and we'll create a new course. Let's just call this AppSumo test. All right, so here's our new course popped up here. Now to add a lesson, all we got to do is click this plus button. And there we go, there's our lesson. So now we could go ahead and reorder these lessons by dragging and dropping, reordering the courses. And when we click on a lesson, we'll be able to edit it. So let's go into this one here. Now we are in our lesson editor. So here is where you add all your content to your lesson. So you've got your text editor. Here you can choose the lesson type. You can upload your video if this is a video lesson, set a release day. This is a really powerful feature, basically to drip your lesson content. So let's say that you have some lessons which you want to just be available all the time, but you might have others that you want to become available to a student a certain number of days after they've enrolled. So for example, if we set this to 7, the student wouldn't be able to access it until a week after they join the program. That way you can kind of slowly feed your content to them. Then we can assign how many points we want to grant, and if this lesson requires the previous lesson to be completed before it unlocks. At the top of the editor here, we've also got some quick stats. So we can see how many people have viewed the lesson so far, how many people have bookmarked it, the completion rate, and also if you're using our video hosting service, you'll see the total watch time. So now I want to go back to the editor one more time. So let's assume that we've completed some content like we have here, or back to the outline, I mean. When we're looking at the outline, it's a really nice way to kind of check over everything you did. because we can hover over each of our lessons here and see what happens. So this lesson's going to award 10 points. This one's going to award 20. This is 10, and this one requires the unlock, so the previous lesson needs to be completed first. So this is kind of a nice way to check over your program if you have things published or set as drafts still. This is that new course we made. It's not published yet. Once you get a lot of lessons in here, this will really help you get that overview faster. And you also see up here on the top right side, you can check if you have your program enrollment enabled, if you've got your payment account connected, if you've got the discussion forum turned on, member list turned on. And these are all features which you can enable or disable as you choose. So you might start off with your courses, but maybe you don't have too many users yet, so you're not quite ready to have your discussion board. You could always go ahead and enable that later on, which is a really nice feature. And probably the last important community feature is you also have the member list. So here, students can see there are other students here, see their profiles, go into it, see basic activity, badges that they've earned. Right now, though, we're looking at the kind of admin view of this student profile. So it's got a bit more detail. We can see recent lesson views and completions from the student, as well as individual views, which lessons they were, how many minutes the students spent online in total, which is a really nice metric to kind of know. If you compare one student to another, you could say, hey, you know what, this student, I can see that they're struggling, but maybe that's because, you know what, they haven't gotten to this lesson yet, or really compared to my other students, they haven't spent the same amount of time online. So now let's go back to our mentor dashboard. And now I'm going to take you through payment settings real quick, because this is a really important feature. So to do that, we're going to go into another sample program. Let's see. Here we go. So here we're in another program. You can see we got a completely different color scheme and logo here. We're calling this the Taco Masters program. So you can choose your color scheme and do that here in your account settings. So here we see our setting options. And here we go. So we can set our program name, upload our logo, our favicon, connect a custom domain, choose our color scheme. And here's these other features I was just talking about, turning on your member list or not, turning on the discussion area. If you don't want to use points, you don't have to. But now let's go over to our payment settings. All right, so you can see here we've got our payment gateways connected. We're using both Stripe and PayPal. You can use either one of these, or you can use them in combination if you want to give students both the option of paying with a card directly or using a PayPal account. We'll go over to our program pricing, and you see we can select free enrollment or paid enrollment. Right now, we've actually got 3 pricing plans set up. You can combine these in any way you'd want. So we're actually offering all 3 of these at the same time. A student can either pay a one-time fee to get access to your program, pay an installment plan, three times, pay $400, or they got their subscription fee of $99 per month. Then we've got our checkout page here. We're setting up our refund policy, adding testimonials, and finally, things like terms and privacy. So now what I want to show real quick is how what it looks like for a student to actually pay for that and get into your course. So here we go. This is a example of your login landing page. We're going to go here and sign up. So we're going to sign up as a new student and enroll in this program. right, and now we got to enter our payment details here on the checkout page. And you'll see that we've got the payment options that I just went through in the settings there. We could do a single payment, the monthly installments, or monthly subscription. And then we've got the option as well to decide to pay through PayPal instead of a credit card. We're gonna use a credit card for now. Enter in a fake test card here. Don't want to spend real money yet. And the enrollment code here, so that's a coupon code. You can create coupon codes if you'd like to offer discounts to your students. If you don't create any coupon codes, this field will not appear. So let's go ahead and pay to enroll. Oh, and then agree to the terms. Here we go. All right, so now it's processing our payment, and let's see, another window just opened up for me. So it just sent me an email to welcome me to the program. And now it's also emailing the mentor to let them know that they got a new student. Process is taking a little bit of time here because this is actually on a development machine, not on our live site. So we don't want to use real money. There we go. So now that we're logged in, we're actually offering our student a upsell here before they get into their program. So this is a special offer where they can purchase a digital product from us in addition to our courses. So here, this is a example digital product. I could go ahead and add this to my purchase. I've already got my card in here. So I can just hit here, complete purchase. Hopefully it loads a little bit faster this time. So now it's going to email the student their receipt and email you as the mentor that you just got a new product sale. All right, and there we go. So now I can access my purchase and download that. But now I'm also enrolled as a student, and I've got access to all the courses that the mentor has allowed inside this program. So that's a basic overview. There's a real lot more we could go into, but right now I want to talk about the AppSumo deal itself. So in our AppSumo deal, we're offering something that is really special, something that we're never going to offer again, which is the ability to get a lifetime account for Heights platform starting at only $79. So our normal fee for our pro plan is $79 a month if you pay annually. With AppSumo, you can pay $79 one time, and then you get access to those same features for the lifetime access. So I'm going to go through here and explain the deal. There's a couple questions that people had that I'd like to cover so it makes more sense. So here's your options. You can purchase multiple AppSumo codes to stack this deal and gain additional active students and additional lesson authors. So to explain what that is, so active students is the number of students that log into your platform in a given month. So one code comes with access to 100 active students. In general, we find that you might have 1,000 actual students who have enrolled over time in your program, but only 100 of them might actually be logging in each month. So that would mean that you only need 100 active students. Then you can go up to 500 with your next code, and it'll increase 400 from there. But we have had some concern about this when we first launched the deal, that people were worried, hey, what if I'm suddenly super successful, I get a ton of new students coming in 1 month? Well, we don't want you to feel like you have to get stuck and upgrade to one of our permanent plans and spend either $99 a month, or the next plan up after that goes up to $399 a month if you pay yearly, which starts to get really expensive. So we've offered all of our AppSumo users a special discount where if you need to add on additional students, you can add on a group of 500 extra active students for only $19 a month. So we think this is really great because this kind of protects you to make sure that you can always scale your program as it grows, no matter how big it grows, and you don't have to worry about losing your lifetime account, because if you ever don't need those active students, you can always cancel that and be back to your lifetime plan limits that you purchased with your codes. All right, I see there's a ton of questions coming in. So I think now's a good time maybe to get to those.
Yeah, great. Thank you for going through all that. We do have a good amount of questions in here. So let's start with this one. Other than Zapier, is there a public API available to access? Thank you.
Great question. Yes, there is a public API, and it gets all the same features as what Zapier gets access to. So we have, for example, enrollment action. This is probably the most powerful and popular one, where you can enroll a student via our API. This is great if you decide that you don't want to use our checkout processing and don't want to use our payment providers. Maybe you have your own e-commerce store already and you really like taking payments through that. You're selling other things outside of the courses and digital products that we offer. You could connect to us through that. You can also get notifications when you get a new student. This is great for kind of managing on email lists. That way you can kind of move your email to a new list when you know they're a purchaser or not.
Excellent. Cool. All right. Next question from Kathy. Can you add affiliates through the program?
Great question. This is something we've been asked a lot. With a good reason, because we do have the ability to do this. However, we haven't publicly exposed it yet. So we're going to be enabling this for everybody really soon. And a lot of people have already reached out to us about it. But if you are someone who's purchased already and you need access to it right away because you've already got students coming in, things like that, just send us an email at support@heightsplatform.com and we'll walk you through the instructions of how you can start using it now, even though it's not publicly shown yet.
All right, awesome. Let's see. Can you see any advantage to using another payment processor like Thrive Cards opposed to the native one you built?
So it really depends on your business, right? We try to make it so that our payment processing is really enough to cater for the majority of what course creators will need, because we have the option, as I showed you, of the multiple payment options. You can also, what I didn't show is you can sell courses separately. You can sell the digital products separately, even if they're not sold as the upsells there. And what's nice is using our payment service is, one, there's no transaction fees. So you're paying transaction fees for PayPal, but we're never going to collect any transaction fees above that. And two is that, like I showed when I purchased that upsell, once you have the student's payment information, they can go and check out and buy additional things from you within your platform with just 2 clicks.
Wonderful. Awesome. Next question. Do you have 24/7 tech support, or how can I get assistance if I need it?
We have close to 24/7 tech support. I think people have seen on this deal, I've been trying to, as much as I can, I can't interact with every single person for every question, but I'm making sure that I at least interact with all of our new customers at least once. So we do have really dedicated support. We are really dedicated to helping course creators become successful. It's not quite 24/7 because most of us are based in the US and we do need to sleep sometimes. But
we don't have 24/7 support. So yeah, it's tough to do. But yeah, you guys have been very active. So it seems like any question you have, you will get an answer. The next one we have from Chris. Can these projects be separated and made private for each student if we want to, or is the only option for everyone to see everyone else's project progress, discussions, etc.?
Good question. So at the moment, the only option is for the projects to be public. And that's a purposeful choice because we really believe that there's a lot of power in the fact that not only is the student showing what they did, but they're able to learn and interact from their peers by seeing what other people have done.
Makes sense. Awesome. All right. Wes is asking, how would I go about achieving the 7 independent courses, just like the picture on AppSumo? And I guess he links out to Optic Photo, PowerFit, Raw Design, Taco Master, etc.
So that is that's an example of a bunch of different programs. So you can brand your program with your logo, your color, however you want. But that's each individual programs. So if you had, like, let's say completely separate audiences, let's say you had that photography course, but then maybe you're also an internet marketer and you want to have an internet marketing course or internet marketing program with a bunch of courses, the best thing to do then would be to have multiple accounts. And right now is a great time to kind of take advantage of this AppSumo deal that we've got, because you could get 2 accounts for just $79 each instead of paying $79 a month for just one.
It's a great deal. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, the next question I am seeing, can you import videos for your courses from either Dropbox or Google Drive?
Great question. So right now we do have the option, I don't know, Chris, is my screen still visible?
Yep, I got you.
All right, let's see. So for example, a lot of our image upload options right now, we can import from Google Drive, from Dropbox, from Instagram, in addition to adding images just from your hard drive. Right now, our video hosting service itself, you have to upload those videos from your hard drive, but we may offer import options soon because I do like the idea of, videos are big files, and sometimes it's easier to just have that import from Dropbox. Right here, you could see, here's how most of the image uploads work inside our system. You can choose your hard drive, Instagram, Google Drive, a link, or Dropbox.
Excellent. All right. What languages do you support? Is it only for English-speaking students?
So your content can be in any language that you want, any kind of character set. Right now, the interface, like you see up here, courses, discussions, members, that is only available in English. But we will be supporting additional languages soon. That's actually been the biggest request we've had from Sumo links here with this AppSumo deal, because we suddenly got a big influx of international customers. So we're planning to support probably about 10 or so languages to start. And awesome. Then we'll increase from there as we get demand for it.
Great. How do you make another person an admin or course creator?
Good question. So if you go to your student list, let's go back to this program here. So this is the admin student list. Before I showed the kind of public member list, if we go here and we want to make Anna here a author, we hit the edit button, and now we would go here and make, there's going to be a checkbox here to make this user an author. I've actually made a bunch of users authors already, so I've reached the limit on this account, but here I could make them an author. And then as an author, what they'll have access to is your mentor dashboard right here, but they won't have access to your payment settings or your account settings or your Heights billing page. So what that means is they'll be able to interact with your students, see student progress, modify things like projects, digital products, and your courses and lessons, but they won't be able to, for instance, put in their payment information or change your domain on you or anything like that.
Got it. All right. Hope that answered your question, Lee. Okay, how do I give access to only a few courses to students? Is that manual? How can I integrate this with my own website for purchase as well? And is there a whitelist option? So we got 3 questions in one. So that first one, how to give access to only a few courses to the students, or maybe modules? I think that might be what they're asking.
Sure. So originally we didn't include this in the AppSumo deal, but we've since changed that because a lot of people actually wanted it. And that is the edit student roles feature here. So the roles feature, you can create a role. And now this is something that you can add a selection of courses to. Let's see if maybe we are having a connection issue here with it. But this is something you can add a selection of courses to. And then any course that's inside that role, only the students who are members of that role will be able to see it. So right now, these courses all don't have any role. So they'll be a bit visible to anyone who purchases or enrolls in your program. If we made, for instance, AppSumo test here, a course that was inside a role, it would be completely hidden unless someone had access to that role. Now, I think the second question was, can that be granted automatically through a purchase, right?
Yes.
So right now that's not possible, but that is coming soon because we realize a lot of people want to sell bundled access to multiple courses at once. So currently the way to add a student to a role is back on that student edit page where we made someone an author. You'll be able to go to a roles selection there to grant that to the student. You can also do it from the roles page itself if you want to just go through the list of students and grant a little bit faster. But yeah, definitely that's something that's coming soon to be able to sell access to a role individually.
Excellent. Awesome. Cool. Susan is asking, for privacy for the students, I don't want them to see each other. Can I use this without using the members button or option?
Yep, absolutely. The account settings has an option that you can check or uncheck, which will completely hide this members page from students. So you can have a course that's completely the student's own alone personal experience, or you can have a course that has all those community features that I talked about with the projects, member list, discussions, etc., and student profiles. But yes, if you want to disable that and have a personal experience for every student, you can definitely do that.
Great. Michael is asking, how do I set up a category of courses?
Category of courses. So that might be similar to the roles feature that I just described. A couple of people,
I think that would probably be similar to Caroline is asking about a drip feed function. And so I think that probably all goes together.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So I showed that really briefly earlier. If we go back to our lesson editor here and we go to this lesson, at the bottom of your lesson, you have options for your release settings. So you see down here, we have release day and requires unlock. So release day is our drip feature. That is the number of days since a student has enrolled that you want them to have access to that content. So if we made this, for example, 7, it would be 1 week after the student enrolls, that lesson will unlock for them. So you might want to do something where you have a drip feature with all of your lessons, that maybe the first one's available immediately, but the second one is available 1 day after their enrollment, third one's available 2 days after, and so on. Or maybe you give them a couple at once, something like that. Then you can combine that with the requires unlock feature. And what that means is that instead of the student being able to browse around and complete whatever lesson in whatever order that they want, they would have to complete the previous lesson before they can move to the next one. One more thing about that is the drip release right now. What you might be asking about is if you can set a specific date on the calendar, and that is not possible just yet. You would have to manually publish the lesson at that date. If you're doing that to kind of mass release it to all your students at a certain time, a nice thing to do is to use our announcements feature, which you can get to from the mentor dashboard here. There you can post an announcement which will appear as a banner at the top of your courses list. That's also great for like letting people know that you're going to do a webinar or a live event.
Wonderful. Okay. Let's see. Next question. Let's see. Do you have, does the platform have training on how to put these classes together? What's the best way for somebody to learn how to use the Heights platform?
Sure, great question. So this year, we're going to make a huge push towards putting out a ton of content related to how you can build and sell your online course. We've actually got a ton of YouTube videos in the works that we just couldn't get ready in time before this AppSumo launch because we've been doing a whole lot to prepare things to make this as great as possible for people. But one of the best ways to learn while you're inside the platform is by going to our knowledge base, and it's up here. So you can see for every page that you're at, there's going to be a link at the top. And that is how you can get to the knowledge base content for that specific section of your program. So here we're looking at the help for the mentor dashboard. We can go through here, learn about different topics as well.
Wonderful. Great. All right. Next up, will the system generate a notice to the admin when a student has gone through the course? So I guess once somebody completes it, is there a way to get a notification that someone's completed your course?
Sure. So right now, we don't send a specific email to admins when the course is complete, but this is something that is available via both our API and our Zapier actions. One of the most popular ways of doing this is setting up a Zapier action with Slack. So that way, as soon as somebody finishes your program, you'll get a notification. Then you could also do it via email. Yeah, a lot of people like to do that because maybe they have either themselves or one of their team members will then go and reach out to the student to congratulate them or see if there's anything else that they have questions on now that they've been through everything.
Cool. All right. Reddy is asking, is there any student testing such as multiple choice questions on the platform or ways to integrate testing to see if people are absorbing the material?
So I've mentioned this a little bit in the my comments on the AppSumo deal page. Right now we have a feature called the assignment lesson type. And we went through one of those right here. That's where you can ask a question to students which they need to provide an answer for before they can complete that lesson. And you can access all the student answers there in your student list. We don't have like a built-in quizzing feature necessarily with multiple choice questions. And the reason for that is, in general, I don't really believe it's the best way for you to measure results from your students. That said, there's a lot of people who are used to more traditional learning management systems. And we do allow for embedding of content from those. If you want to have, for example, quizzes, tests, forms, or surveys. And you can do that by going to your lesson editor. And when you're in a lesson in the text editor section, you can go to the embed button here. And that will let you paste in an embed code. For example, some teachers or mentors like using Articulate Storyline. You can embed that content here to have a kind of embeddable quiz.
All right. So Caroline is asking, is there a way to add discount codes and build different promotional landing pages for your courses?
Good question. So right now we offer one single landing page. And I didn't really go through the landing page editor, but that's right here. This is a feature that we realized kind of our front-end website features is a little bit more, that's kind of our weak point, I guess I would have to say, compared to the rest of our program, because we're really focused on creating the best learning experience first, because a lot of things like landing pages, that kind of thing, that's kind of simple. That's something that there's so many tools that can do that. And a lot of our creators already are using other landing page creation tools in place of our own. You don't have to use our landing page if you don't want to. But if you do want to, we've got our landing page, which you can optionally show your courses on, your curriculum. Then through that, you have a coupon codes option in your payment settings where you can, let's see, here we go, here it is. So you can provide a coupon code that gives discounted access or even free access to some students. Some people get creative like this with this, and they even use it to, maybe they sell another product and then they include a free coupon code with it to give free access by setting the price to 0. Right now, it depends on your specific use. I'm not sure what you want to use a coupon code for, but right now our coupon codes can be applied to one-time payments. So you can discount a one-time payment to anything you want or to zero. You cannot yet provide coupon codes for installment plans or subscription plans.
Cool. Great. All right. We got Henrik is asking, I guess he's working with a couple different brands looking to launch different courses for different brands. So he has a couple questions about that. So if I buy, for example, 6 codes, do I need to dedicate the codes to the specific brand or domain at a specific time, such as like when he's redeeming the codes? So that's his first question.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we are allowing with this deal that you can either stack the codes all in one account to increase the number of active students you get, or you could redeem the codes for separate accounts. So if you wanted to buy those 6 codes and then have 6 completely different programs, you could do that. If you're not sure yet how many programs you want to make, or if you want to stack some of those codes, you could wait to redeem some of them. You do have a time that you can wait a little bit before you redeem them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems to be the bulk of the questions. He's laying out a couple different options. It's like, do I need to stack them all in one account? Do I have to decide beforehand to break them up into like 2, 3, 4 different accounts, or is there a way to add them all to one account and then extract 2 from one of them? Yep.
Yeah, and if you have any other questions about that, yeah, just email us at support@heightsplatform.com, and we'd be happy to maybe walk you through what is the best option for your specific plan.
Great. Corby is asking, are people buying access to individual courses when they pay, or all of the courses at once? Or is there an option to do either of them?
Good question. So what we really try to kind of guide mentors into is the idea of a program-centric concept where you're giving students access to more than just your online course, because you've got your discussions, your projects, potentially digital products. And this is something that's different from some of our other competitors, where what they call an online course is maybe just a couple videos behind a paywall, but there's not really much more for the student to experience. We see some people go and try to say that they want to have a community feature, but then that ends up being offering their students a Facebook group or something. It's not really integrated. So for that reason, we try to push integrating everybody into a whole program concept that you're charging for access to your program. With that said, so the default is that you'll have your payment plan options, which is my screen still up, Chris?
Yes.
All right, so your payment plan options that you've been seeing here, that by default gives access to all the courses that are published in your program. If you have a course that you want to sell individually, you can do that. But in general, you want the student to enroll in your program first. So let's say you want to sell all your courses individually, then you would set your program to free enrollment. And then you would go here in your course. And when you go to the edit page and scroll down a bit, you've got course settings for sold separately. So here, when we check that off, we can say if it's an upsell or not, and then we can set the price and the upsell price if maybe we're offering a discount when it's being used as an upsell. So if you do this, then the student would have to purchase this course individually before they get access.
Awesome. Great. Well, that is all of the time we have for these questions. We had a lot of them in here. So if anyone on here didn't get your question answered, please, you can leave that on the AppSumo page for the Heights platform deal. And I'm sure you can also reach out to the team directly, like Brian said. Brian, thank you so much for going through all those. I know we had a bunch of questions for you. And thank you for doing the walkthrough and for providing this deal to the AppSumo community. I know a lot of people are really excited about this. Like we mentioned earlier, this is on AppSumo right now, starting off at just $79 for Heights platform. It's a really cool tool, as you guys just saw. And again, it's all backed by the AppSumo 60-day guarantee. So feel free to get it set up, plugged in, get your courses created. If you have those questions, reach out to us or reach out to the Heights platform team. But Brian, thank you very much for doing this webinar and for bringing this deal to the Sumo Link community.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Yep. Yeah, as Chris mentioned, I'm going to be in the that deal page all day answering questions. And any other questions you have, anything that's more specific to your specific business, feel free to email us at support@heightsplatform.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Brian. And Sumo Links, thank you for hopping on here. We'll all be talking soon. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.